and Sarah Morris. Sarah, people watching that, they may not have understood exactly what was going on, because a lot of people watch these kind of reality TV shows or debates while they're looking at Twitter and other social media. What's the reaction in the UK?
Well, it's super interesting. This Twitter account wasn't actually the Conservative Party headquarters account. It was the media team, the press team's Twitter account, and they changed it just for the duration of the show. And the idea, I guess, was that, or the criticism that it's getting, is that plenty of people may have been fooled, tricked by this into thinking it was an independent fact-checking operation that was going on, because its name is quite similar to some of the organisations that do run fact-checking. So the idea here is that some people really may have been fooled by this, and people think this is the Conservative Party being disingenuous. Now, when you ask the Conservative Party what they think about it, they say this is a bit of a storm in a teacup, an unnecessary media storm that we're cracking up here. And they're saying, look, no one would have been fooled by this. If you actually look at the handle, it's very clear that it's the Conservative Party press headquarters. It's very clear that it's not actually a fact-checking organisation, but it does have that blue tick when Twitter verifies an official account. And if people aren't actually looking at the entire handle, then it is very easy to be perhaps fooled, especially at the pace social media moves in this day and age. So this is the problem, and it comes to the big question of, can you trust not just the Conservative Party, but any politician at the moment? This is another example where people in the streets today are pointing to this as a reason as to why we can't trust our politicians, why they are sneaky, why they go behind our backs, why they treat us like we're silly and idiots. And so this is playing into one of the big themes of this election, which is, who can you trust? And I've spoken to so many people on the streets in the lead up to this election, and so many have said to me, I don't know who to vote for because I don't like either of the candidates. I don't really like any of the parties. I don't know that I can trust anything they're saying. I don't think that they'll follow through with any of the promises that they're making. They're looking at the last Brexit couple of years and saying there were so many unfulfilled promises going there. And I think really what this does is just reinforce voter disenfranchisement.
Yeah, there was an opinion poll from just a couple of weeks ago which looked at the popularity of Boris Johnson, Jeremy Corbyn, Joe Swinson from the Lib Dem Party, Nigel Farage from the Brexit Party, and all four of those political leaders in those opinion polls were more unpopular than they were popular. So it could be the least worst option, as you're indicating. What particularly stood out for you in terms of the content of the debate itself?
You're very right on the least worst option. We're joking that this is becoming an unpopularity contest, not a popularity contest. But what stood out in the debate, I think you have to say Brexit dominated, and of course we would expect it to dominate. And I think that Boris Johnson certainly won the Brexit battle, if you want to put it that way. He and his party have a very clear Brexit policy. They say they've got a deal ready, oven ready. It's the one they've already done with the EU. If they win the election, they'll take that as a mandate to push it through. All the candidates who are running for the Conservative Party have agreed that they will vote for that deal. So Boris Johnson is essentially saying, vote for me, vote for Conservatives, and I will get Brexit done. Labour Party, much more wishy-washy when it comes to Brexit. They're offering, if they get into government, to go back to the EU, to renegotiate a new Brexit deal, and then to put that deal to another referendum. Now, God only knows how long that would take. They're saying they can do it in 6 months. We've seen how hard it was for the Conservative Party to do it over the last couple of years. So I think that is a clear space for Boris Johnson to really differentiate himself from Jeremy Corbyn and really put pressure on Jeremy Corbyn, who wouldn't say, might I add, after being asked several times whether or not he would vote Leave or Remain if they got to the point of having that second referendum. But Jeremy Corbyn got his back, got back on Boris Johnson in other areas, particularly non-Brexit related things. When it came to the NHS, he accused Boris Johnson of having these secret meetings with the US to sell off parts of the NHS, or at least allow US drug companies access to the US. And so that again plays into this whole trust situation, because Boris Johnson claims those secret meetings haven't been happening. Jeremy Corbyn's claiming those meetings have been happening. And I think, again, the public sitting there going, well, did they happen or didn't they happen? What actually is going to be happening? And what you've promised, can you follow through with it? The other really interesting issue on the issue of trust there in the debate was they were actually asked by an audience member, how can we trust you and your individual personalities? And when Boris Johnson started giving his answer, the audience actually laughed. So that really does give you an indication of what the public perhaps thinks of these two people who are standing to be the leader of this next country.
Wow, laughing at political leaders while they address the most important issues their country faces. Quite astonishing. Sarah Morris, thank you so much, Sarah.